Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is a sponsored video, sponsored by Jake for Paul. And Paul, this is Thanksgiving. Paul has sent in an audio file, so here we go.
Good morning, Ollie. Even if you don't get to this, happy Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone else that's on the channel. I get to spend my Thanksgiving all by myself. My parents, my mom, my dad's her flying monkey, in your terminology, has made it so that I have no contact with my extended family. And, Thanksgiving has always been, I've had a love-hate relationship with it. But over the last 10 years or so, I'd say it's definitely been my favorite holiday. I love getting together with my family, and it's always been a great time. But this is the third year in a row now where I get to spend it completely alone. It's wonderful. And this after having, my parents and me and my family, we hosted Thanksgiving at our house for the last, 15 years I lived with my parents or so. And then afterwards, my parents would always have it at their house. So for about 20-25 straight years, my parents hosted Thanksgiving. I would go to their house the night before when I moved out, help get things set up. Now I'm on the outside because my mom has driven a wedge between me and everyone else. It sucks. It's miserable. And I think the best was 3 years ago, the first Thanksgiving that I missed because of some more acute and more recent issues with my parents. I was not going to show up to Thanksgiving because I knew they'd be there. I was at another relative's house because they weren't hosting it that year. And I knew that if I showed up, that they would cause a huge scene with me and then blame it all on me.
Right. And, what you're talking about is, the beginning of the end. You see it coming, and there's nothing you can do. If you show up, there's going to be an issue, and if you don't show up, it's going to be an issue. It's when you're trapped. It's the no contact trap. It's that point where you're at that road where it's no contact or you're going to just continue on with the abuse. I mean, there it is. If you don't show up, because you know what's going to come. If you showed up there at that point, you know the attack, and you don't show up, you get attacked for not showing up. And then if you say, well, if I showed up, it would have been an attack, then you're crazy. That's why, as shitty as days like this can be, being alone and not having your family around, what's your alternative? What was going to be your alternative? Paul? More abuse? Be happy. You don't have to make that decision anymore.
So I stayed away from Thanksgiving. I spent the whole day all by myself. And I think the best part was when about 8 o'clock at night, there's a ring at the doorbell. And I'd already made it clear. Of course, they're not listening to this because that doesn't fit their narrative, right? I'd already told my parents and my brother, I'm not showing up to Thanksgiving because of you three. I don't want to get into a big fight. I was trying to be the bigger person. course, they ignored that. And then they show up at the house at 8 o'clock at night. They have a plate of food in their hands, and they're talking to me as if I'm a retard, saying, "Oh, here, Paul, we wanted to bring you some food to make sure that you ate tonight." And I said to them, I go, "Do you..."
Because they're setting you up to make it look like you're incompetent or crazy. This is what the narcissist always does. When you fight back, okay, if they don't have somebody to blame it on, i.e. a spouse, oh, so-and-so is brainwashing them. If it's just you sitting there, now we're just worried about you because Paul's crazy. This is what they do.
Do not understand why I didn't show up to Thanksgiving this year?" And they just looked at me like, well, they just ignored what I said. "No, here you go, Paul, here's some food." I go, "I don't want your food. It's not about food, it's about the fact that I didn't get to see the rest of the family. And it was all because of you guys. Paul, why don't you want to take the food? What's wrong?" And then I just, of course...
Like you're a prisoner being fed, right? They know what it's about, but they're bringing you food like a prisoner. Well, we don't understand why you don't want to eat. They're not even acknowledging. It's brainwashing. It's gaslighting. It's conditioning you to not fight back. This is what happens. You will be isolated.
They antagonized me. I'm just trying to tell them, please just get out of here. I don't know what the hell you're doing here. Of course, that's not good enough. They can't let me have the last word, so they antagonized, and at some point I knocked the plate of food out of my dad's hand onto the floor, onto the ground. I don't know how many of my neighbors saw it, but it was definitely an ugly scene. And then on a similar note,
Well, obviously, Paul, they knew they could push your buttons to spark that reaction. They did it in front of neighbors, in front of witnesses. It keeps escalating, and I understand the frustration as a grown man to be stood over like that and to be openly gaslighted and openly bullied, passive-aggressively bullied. Any human, like it brings out a homicidal rage. And that's not a crazy, you're crazy. No. Any man, any person who has any sense of self-pride whatsoever is going to react that way when the people who are supposed to be the ones who care about you most are the ones doing this horrible, manipulative, fucking bullshit on a holiday. Yeah, a natural reaction is rage.
Last year, I initiated these family counseling sessions with them, and they were, of course, acting... Well, going back to that Thanksgiving where they brought the food over, of course, they were telling everyone else at Thanksgiving, like, yeah, we don't know why Paul's not here, and it's too bad he's not here. I can only imagine how awful it is at the house by himself. Well, we should bring him a care package. We should make him a plate of food. We're going to bring him a plate of food, everyone. We're going to go over to Paul's house. Again, not telling everyone why I'm not there.
It's all conditioning to make you look like you're crazy. That's all it is. Look how wonderful we are and our insane, angry son, Paul.
And then last year on Christmas, or was it Thanksgiving? I don't remember. Either Thanksgiving or Christmas. No, it was Thanksgiving. No, Thanksgiving last year. During one of the sessions, or maybe I talked to them outside of the sessions, I said to them, I go, do you guys realize why I'm not going to Thanksgiving this year? And they acted like, no, we don't know why. And I'm like, well, I don't want there to be a big scene. I don't want you guys, I don't want to, I don't want there to be a big blow up, And they go, like as if they're being generous. My mom calls me back like a few days later. This is, all before Thanksgiving. Well, Paul, we talked, me, your dad, and your brother. And if you don't want us to go to Thanksgiving, we won't go, and then you can go. Like, yeah, that would work great. That would work great. You get.
Yeah, not only would that not work great, that guarantee they would show up while you were there to trap you and then spark the ultimate rage out incident in front of the whole family. The whole thing is a trap. Look, the narcissist plots sometimes take years to pull off. Years for this buildup. Years for this buildup.
I've already communicated to the rest of the family that I'm an asshole, that I'm crazy, and that I'm this, like, no good, do nothing, and then I'm going to show up, and then you're not going to be there, and then they're going to ask me why isn't the rest of them there. I'm going to have to say, well, we came to this agreement where I'd show up and you didn't, and they didn't. So here I am again this year, all by myself, while they're all 20 deep in my aunt and uncle's house. So, yep. Happy Thanksgiving!
Here's the thing, Paul. If they're 20 deep at your family's house, where's the rest of them other than outside your immediate family? See, this is the realization I had to come to as well, is none of them are worth it. You're the one putting in all the effort in your family, and none of them can give a shit about you. Stop pining over people who don't give a fuck about you, and that extends further than your immediate family. Because if any of them cared, they would find out the truth, Paul. They would come find you and talk to you. If any of them really gave a fuck. That is the hard, legitimate truth I had to come to after my divorce. After my divorce, when I was going through it, not one call from one family member concerned. Hey, what's going on? What's the deal? You left Carrie. What is it? Not one call from one fucking family member. Ever. Ever. And I know that sounds so hard to believe, that you must be you, how horrible you are, and it's not. You were conditioned as when you're conditioned as the family scapegoat. That's what it is. I mean, a scapegoat is what it is. To carry all the family shame, so nobody even has to look at it. Stop pining after people who don't give a fuck about you. That goes all of them, 20 deep, beyond your parents. It's all of them. Because if any of them were to stand up for you, Paul, your parents wouldn't be able to pull off what they're pulling off now. Could they? A years-long plot. The narcissists don't give a shit about you. Stop pining for them. Their plots go on for years because the enablers allow them to. They're all complicit. Every one of them at that table. That's the reality of these holidays that you all have to come to the realization of. Everyone at my aunt's table today is fucking complicit. Everyone at Christmas Eve at my other aunt's house is complicit. Everyone who shows up at my parents' house on Christmas Day is complicit. I don't pine for them. I curse them. I smite them. That's what they deserve. Collaborators, all of them. They want you sitting here pining for them. Fuck them. Go do something today that you want to do without them. Fuck them. This is what they want. Don't give them what they want today. Make it about something you want. So, thank you so much, Jake, for sponsoring the story. Thank you, Paul, for sending in your audio. I really appreciate it, especially on Thanksgiving Day like this. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to help keep it growing, succeeding, and expanding, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you, all of this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.